In my last video, I explained a few reasons as to why some people hated The Last of Us Part 2, and explained the hatred towards Naughty Dog's apocalyptic sequel. I highly recommend you check out that video as it details the abhorrent abuse that Naughty Dog and even a voice actor received because of the game's decisions. However, in this video, I will be explaining the other point of view, the reasons that people liked the game, in fact loved the game. Once again, there are spoilers for The Last of Us Part 2 ahead. Hi, I'm Frazzle, and this is why people loved The Last of Us Part 2. Before we dive into the video, I would like to ask if you'd consider giving the video a big thumbs up, as that really helps out the video a lot, and it also helps out the channel a lot. I love making this sort of content, I love video games, so if you really do like what you hear, then please do consider hitting the like button. I'd also like to ask you to consider hitting the subscribe button. It's free, and it's just down below you there. It's a big red button, you can't miss it. And if you hit that button, you will stay up to date on all my latest videos. Thank you so much for watching. I got a lot of love on the last video, and let's dive into why fans loved The Last of Us Part 2. One of the big reasons why people loved this game is because of the people that loved the first one and were already looking forward to the second one. When the game was announced, there was a genuine buzz from the Last of Us community that not only were they doing a second one with Ellie, but it was a big release on the fourth best-selling console of all time, the PlayStation 4. With lots of people having played the first as it came towards the end of the PlayStation 3's life cycle, and there also being a remaster that came out on the PS4 with updated textures, graphics, etc., the love for a sequel was almost inevitable to get people loving this game no matter what direction the game took. Now, while many people disagreed with the game's direction thanks to the leaks of Joel's death, there were many people who voiced their love for this game. Now, while it looked like the hate for The Last of Us Part 2 was overwhelming and it looking like the game was bad to many, there were people who genuinely fell in love with this game. So much so that the game has received over 200 Game of the Year awards, including Game of the Year at the Game Awards and the Best Narrative Award. The actor of Abby, Laura Bailey, also won the Game Award for Best Performance. Bailey received a lot of hate, but you have to respect how she took down all the trolls by winning such an award. Now, those awards show a lot of love for a game that sends you on an adventure that showcases real human emotions, like how someone deals with grief. Speaking of emotions, that is another reason why this game gets a lot of love. It sends the player on one hell of an emotional roller coaster, where 1 minute you can be laughing along with the game and feeling happy, to next bawling your eyes out and getting all teary-eyed. But this game does it so well. It really grasps the emotions, and that is thanks to the writing by Neil Druckmann and Hallie Gross. Their vision to find a balance between emotions such as angry, sad and happy are perfectly laid out in a game that goes between 20 to 30 hours in length. Both Druckmann and Gross knew what they wanted this game to be, a game of hate rather than what the first was, a game which people loved and were expecting yet another Joel and Ellie adventure. But it's why we see Joel killed early on, to set the tone of the game, to show that this game is not going to be like the first, and that is what people loved. It was something different and new. When I say new, this is where I now speak about new characters in the game. The big one obviously being the introduction of Abby. Now, she didn't receive the best of starts when people just did not like her when she killed Joel. But at the beginning of the game, you only see the view of Abby killing Joel through the perspective of Ellie, as well as yourself who had already spent a whole game with those two. However, once you're then forced to play as Abby for the next 8 to 10 hours, then you get to see her perspective, how Joel had killed her father in the hospital in the first game, how afterwards she tried to make amends for killing Joel brutally by helping out Yara and Lev escape the Seraphites. The game is trying to get the player to understand that one action from someone can affect someone else and their actions. The game does that brilliantly. With Abby knowing Joel killed her father, she seeks revenge on him by taking his life too. However, to Ellie, this is someone murdering Joel for no reason and thus taking her on this revenge path. The game sends Ellie down this path where she is killing people and is losing her humanity as she wipes out several people in order to seek vengeance for Joel's death. On the other hand, with Abby, this is a woman who is losing her friends around her, like her ex-boyfriend Owen, Mel, Manny and Nora. The game deals with perspective brilliantly, how it shows you two sides of the same coin. The Last of Us 2's climactic end sequence is where Ellie finds Abby and they fight to the death. However, Ellie remembers her final conversation with Joel of how they'd try and repair their relationship, but also how much Joel loved Ellie. That thought triggered Ellie to just let go of Abby, let her take Lev and get on with their lives. Ellie realised what she had become and that this is not what she nor Joel would have wanted for her. She gave Abby what she would have given Joel: forgiveness, or at least try to. While I've spoken in depth about why people love the story of the game and how detailed and complex the characters are, I should not forget how good this game looks as well. While storytelling is an important factor, how the game looks visually also does wonders for people's opinions. Some of the set pieces are incredibly detailed, like downtown Seattle looks amazing when the player is riding through with Ellie and Dina, and even the snowy backdrop when Abby is looking for Joel and Jackson. The game is visually stunning. Let's not forget that the game runs perfectly on a 7-year-old hardware and looks even better when you play it on a PlayStation 4 Pro or even a PlayStation 5, which is what I had the pleasure of playing it on. The animations and details on faces, the effects on blood, and how good the game looks in different weather environments makes it a big plus to look at and a reason as to why people love this game. The art does make it. Naughty Dog did a fantastic job in doing what they could to get the best out of the PS4, and it shows with the award nominations, including one for Best Visual Design at the 38th Annual Joystick Awards. I want to conclude this video by sharing my opinion on The Last of Us Part 2. I loved it for the reasons mentioned previously, but also I fell in love with the characters and everything that was part of the wider story. I loved how immersed I got into the game and found it hard to put down even when it hit 2 AM in the morning. I have laughed with this game and I have also cried with this game, and it is why I put this game easily as my #1 game of all time. It hit me in all the right spots and I thought it was a fitting sequel. I would have liked a game with Joel and Ellie again, but I realised that I like this game for its complex nature, as well as surprising me for the lessons that can be learnt and applied to real life. That is my opinion on the game, and those are the reasons that people loved The Last of Us Part 2. With the games now seemingly done with for now, and no word on what is happening with the rumoured Factions multiplayer mode coming to the game, the next big thing to look forward to in the Last of Us universe is the upcoming TV show, done by the brilliant Craig Mazin, who wrote Chernobyl. I for one cannot wait to see both Pedro Pascal, who played Din Djarin in one of my favourite TV shows, The Mandalorian on Disney+, and Bella Ramsey, who was Lyanna Mormont in Game of Thrones, and I want to see their takes on Joel and Ellie respectively. I realise that people will have a different opinion to you and I, and that is okay. Everyone is allowed their own opinion and can voice them, so let me know down in the comments what you think of The Last of Us Part 2. If you did enjoy this video, then please hit the like button, as that would be greatly appreciated and helps out the channel and the video a lot. Finally, would you please consider subscribing to the channel to see more of my videos. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.